Computer. Okay, recording it now. Thank you, everybody. And we are going to talk about winter prep. And I apologize so much for having a space out this morning. But the key here to remember is illness is not bad, that the only solution to your illness is really food. So when I speak of homeopathics are very secondary to foods that you need. You cannot swap food for homeopathics. You cannot be on a vegan diet, take homeopathics, and expect to be well. The food that you're eating has very, very complex intelligence. It is going to be converted into your intestinal fires, into its common denominators that the body needs, and then it's going to be distributed all over your body. And so, many people say food is medicine, but they don't act as if food is medicine. So every mouthful you put into your mouth is really medicine. Um, and I'm trying to see if I can, if I can do one thing, and that is this. Okay. Do you still see everything?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So everything that you have, these are the typical symptoms people talk to me about: diarrhea, constipation, fatigue, fevers, rashes, joint pains, heart pains, kidney pains, seizures, cardiovascular disease, all sorts of asthma, allergies, swollen joints, bony growths in their joints, trigger finger, food related. Everything is related to the food you eat or don't eat. I've had a number of people recently come with people have gone carnivore. People go carnivore and they get this intense trigger finger or bony growths in their joints from gout because the body is laying uric acid crystals on your joints and that hurts like hell, guys. And so anytime you change a diet very dramatically, you're going to have consequences. If you go from non-vegetarian to vegetarian, vegetarian to carnivore, carnivore to fasting, every dietary change has consequences. And so you want to do whatever you want to do with thought and slowly. Thought and slowly. Eye disorders are very related to skin disorders. Burnett, the famous homeopath of the 19th century, used to say, if you can cure the skin disease, you can cure the cataracts or the eye sclerosis. And there's truth to that. He had a lot of success with cataracts. And really, when you have all these issues, it's your body kind of going on fire and saying, hey, do something about it. And so your body's sending you messages and you got to heed them. If you have a penny shaped rash on your arm, or if you have a wart on your neck, or if you have a pain in your right knee, your body is sending you an SOS and you want to heed that. Something needs to be changed drastically in your life for you not to have that pain. The way to reduce pain is not with painkillers. Painkillers will dampen the signaling that your body is giving to you to do something about it. And so when you think of disease, the flu you're going to get this winter, think of it as a catharsis. Don't think of it as a symptom. Think about why you got it. And that's very, very difficult for most people when they have pain, fever's raging, and they're not feeling good at all. You're not being combative. You want to be preventive as much as possible. And with that in mind, the first thing I want to ask you is, does everybody have influenzainum, the nosode of the influenza detritus? I'm not going to call it virus because of all this talk of no virus, no bacterium, but it's made from the sputum and the tissue or sputum of a person with the flu symptoms. Do you all have this nosode on you?
I do not.
You do not.
No.
Okay, get it, get it. Influenzainum 200C. Share a water dose with your friends and family. And at the beginning of flu season, please take it once a week, once a month, whatever your whatever your appetite is and whatever your uh, susceptibility is, influenza. At the onset of any flu, you start with a runny nose, you start with a cold, a good combo to, and now we're going into combos. Many homeopaths will tell you combos are horrible, not good. Let me tell you this, combos are better than ibuprofen, aspirin, Crocin, paracetamol, Tylenol, Aleve, antibiotics, going to the hospital, anything. So take a combo. When in doubt, take the combo of aconitum plus bryonia.
Sushma,
Aconitum, yep,
can I interrupt briefly?
sure.
I heard you starting this recent thing about saying a nosode. My understanding from what you explained is what you described as a homeopathic is not a nosode. Am I unclear? I mean, maybe unclear on something that you said.
Nosode is homeopathic. A nosode is always homeopathic, and it is a diseased product homeopathically prepared. So you take, say, basilinum is a diseased lung of a person who died from tuberculosis. Burnett took his lung, a tissue of his lung, and ran up a remedy on it. So he had 6C, 12C, 30C, 200C made from the lung tissue of a tubercular patient called basilinum. And believe it or not, basilinum is a golden remedy if you have ringworm, if you have respiratory disease that comes from your miasm, which is from your grandparents. So when I take cases, I'm always asking people, what did your grandparents, what was the health history of your grandparents, great grandparents? Because it has a bearing on what you are.
Doesn't the zoonosa have to come from, if I'm taking it for me, don't I have to have it from my own body and not from someplace, somebody else's body?
Yeah, that's called an autonosode. That is an autonosode or an autosarcode. And that's auto, meaning you yourself. And oftentimes in cancer, they've had success with immune therapy in cancer is literally taking parts of your cancer and running it back into your body in a very attenuated or a small dose so that your body is able to develop immune response to it. That is the modern day immunotherapy that homeopathy has been doing for 300 plus or 250 plus years.
So we would have to wait, I guess I would call it waiting for that condition to occur of, an irregularity before developing a nosebleed for ourselves. If we've never had it before, then what do we do? We can't really create a nosebleed for something we don't or haven't had.
Right. So influenzainum is that nosode. It's made from the spit of a person with influenza.
Okay.
Everybody needs to have it. It's going to reduce the acuity and the duration of your illness, without in any way impairing or hurting your immune system. And it's not that it creates antibodies. They have discovered that it does not. So there's a lot of bunk in science. Someone said, oh, antibodies protect you against disease. Antibody IgG or IgE, they found in the people given belladonna as a preventive against scarlet fever, they didn't have antibodies. Even the generalized antibodies, they were just immune to the disease of scarlet fever. And how is it? Because your entire immune system, your entire body looks at it and makes a strategic answer, a strategic solution to dealing with that particular illness that looks like belladonna, which is scarlet fever. And so therefore it's a preventive. You don't die when you take belladonna prior to um, and being infected with scarlet fever. Did that answer your question, Land?
Partly. I guess I'm still unclear about if I create a nosebleed from something I haven't had, do I have to wait for that condition to appear in my body?
Yes, a nosode, an autonosode is always created from a condition in the body, but an outsider's nosode is not. So if you suspect you're going to have that illness, or chances are you had a flu every year, 5 years in a row, take influenzainum this year and see what
Got it.
happens.
Got it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So think of disease not as a symptom, but as a healing adaptation to whatever is ailing you, to whatever caused it. So a fever is fantastic. Fever reduces all elements of your immune system. Your tumor necrotic factors go up, white blood cell count goes up, and your body is now dealing with that illness in the best possible way. It's combative, it's preventive, not combative, meaning what you want to think about is how do I prevent myself getting my foot in this pile of, you know, dog poop? I want to prevent it. I want to bypass it. I don't want to get into bed with someone toxic. I don't want to. A better strategy in life is to run a circle around things that are a problem rather than get into that problem yourself. That's
So
called, yeah.
if for instance, because I've had this condition before where I stepped on a so-called on a rusty nail or something like that.
Mhm.
I would have, if I knew that and I knew or was addressing homeopathy at that time, I would make a nosode about the place where the infection occurred with the rusty nail. Is that right?
Absolutely. You could do that. And the way to do it is you take some stuff from that area, you put it in some alcohol, like 10 milliliters of alcohol. You take a drop or two of that. You succuss it. You succuss it, meaning you bang it 20 times. You take a couple of drops of that, add 100 drops of water to it, take a couple of drops of it, add 100 bottles, and succuss it each time. Do it 6 times, and you have a 6C potency of your auto nosode.
Okay.
Alternately, you can take a homeopathic remedy that has those same symptoms as a nail in your foot, which is ledum.
Hmm. Yeah. So another brief question with that clarification. I don't know how important it is. I just heard you say about succussing something 20 times. I have from previous, I guess, discussions with you to succuss something 40 times.
Mhm.
How important is it to succuss it a certain number of times?
If you're creating a bigger dilution, it's a good idea to succuss it more times. But in general, for smaller dilutions, it's a range. So 15 to 25 times. I therefore say 20 times.
Okay,
It's
thanks.
good enough. All righty. Any other questions, guys? So the first element of prevention, I gotta say, is food, and we'll get into the food and homeopathy if you've had that illness sequentially a number of years. And that brings up the question, who should you pay for your illness? You should pay your farmer. First and foremost, your farmer is your doctor. Pay the asking price for good vegetables, good milk, good meat, and you will not spend money on hospitals and doctors, even homeopathics. And it's important to understand if you're grounded, if you're eating, drinking good water, eating good food, you're just not going to get sick. You violating nature's laws at a time that you got sick. There's stress in your life, or EMF, or just work, or lack of sleep, or lack of nourishment, nutritional deficiencies, and toxicities. Key, key, key. And so the key here is to let your body heal itself because it's the best doctor. No doctor, no homeopath, nobody can heal you like your own body can. And so you got to be in tune with your body at all times. And so I just want you guys to take your right hand, put it into a fist. Can you see my fist here?
No?
No. Okay. Can you see it now?
All I see.
Yes.
Okay. Take your fist and put it on your heart. Shut your eyes for a second and just tune into your body. Tune into your body from the feet up all the way to your knees. Feel for where the pain is, where you're carrying stress. If you tend to have bloating, think about your stomach with love. If you tend to have pains in your right or left side, think of that pain. Pay attention to it. Go to your heart and feel what you're feeling in your heart and in your lungs and on your skin and on your back, go all the way to your face and head, and then you'll feel a lightness. Feel that you're taking the detritus from your body and pushing it out and bringing in openness. And the more you get in tune with yourself and your body, the faster you'll be able to feel when you're not well, when something doesn't agree with you, when something someone said doesn't make sense to you at all. You need to tune into it and you need to give it credence, meaning trust that feeling. And when you do that, that's the first act of healing. This is a symptom. This is a symptom, elephantiasis. And what you're looking for is the cause of it, and you're looking to heal the cause of it. And the first thing here is diet. This is a symptom. This is your body's adaptive mechanism to whatever it's ailing it. And so the key here is not to push antibiotics down that hole, but make your body sturdy and strong so that it releases whatever's in there and heals it from the inside. Because if you did antibiotics, I guarantee you, you're going to keep getting those infections over and over and over again, twice a year. Pills don't cure. And toxicity. Everyone has toxicity, and taking out toxins from our body is a lifelong task, and your body does it beautifully. You help it along with good food and a little bit of homeopathics, but these are the mining people. Mount Devata study of in the Philippines, where they were mining for gold and they used mercury to mine for gold. And so they were severely mercury poisoned, and they had all the symptoms of a Mad Hatter's disease. And so they were chelated with a substance called DMPS to get the mercury out. And over time it happened, but get the toxicity out of your body. That get the toxicity out of your amalgams and vaccines. And again, here, prevention is the key. You don't want to go there. You don't want to have heavy metals in your body or persistent pollutants and chemicals in your environment or opportunistic infections. So these are all things that will inflame your body and cause you to be perpetually sick. I wanted to talk about emotional and psychological. We all have had traumas to a lesser degree or a greater degree. But you find that people who tend to deal with their traumas come out of their traumas and are actually stronger than ever. And so put your hand on your heart and think about all the things that you can do. And I can't tell you those things, guys, only you can, that make them stronger, make you stronger, make you release the little hinge there, and relieve you of that trauma and get you into a healthy place. Food and spiritual, probably the most important things to consider. And that's what we will consider at all times going forward. And so we talked about the multifactorial lifestyle, and you're all actually doing that. But the main thing is you want to avoid going there. Go the path less traveled. Don't do what everybody else did, and you'll prevent just a lot of heinous problems. These are the effects of Roundup, gut biota, and so on and so forth. But mainly, I wanted to get you to the flu shots. Flu shots are extremely toxic. They don't prevent flu. To the contrary, they cause a huge amount of toxicity in your body. And over time, see that thimerosal there, 25 micrograms of mercury per dose. That's 49 micrograms of thimerosal, which contains 25. One molecule of mercury will kill one cell in your body. It is extremely toxic. So avoid the flu shot. There's all sorts of damages. Now it's coming out, but forever, for the last 200 years, vaccines have been killing people. Vaccines have never saved life. They have only ever taken lives. And so you mislead yourself. One misleads oneself when one thinks that by taking nasty materials, injecting it along with adjuvants into your body will create health. No, it'll create ill health. Toxic metals, same thing. Huge symptoms of mercury and aluminum poisoning. You see the Gulf War syndrome. 2,000 people died in combat, and 74,000 people died from the Gulf War syndrome from the anthrax vaccine they were given. Horrible, horrible deaths. So, what do you do? First, increase your cholesterol levels. Uh, as winter approaches, please take the time to buy more Larry's butter if you've run out and eat more cholesterol-laden foods. And butter, can't think of anything better than butter. Helps with your cell membranes, the micelles, with vitamin D making or the precursors to vitamin D hormones. It's the precursor to all your good hormones. Helps with digestion, with thinking. If you have problems thinking, can't find that word, eat more butter. It'll ward off infections. Any saturated fats are antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, anti-ill health. Incline your bed. How many people have inclined their bed a little bit? Don't raise your head, raise the whole bed, and you don't need to use a pillow. That'll cause better immune system function. Any questions on this? This is a simple thing to do. It's free. Put a couple of bricks under the head of your bed and you're good to go. You'll fall sick noticeably, perceptibly less. Unrefined salt. It's needed for, especially for adrenal function. So you can make those stress hormones and the calming hormones and for your metabolism to work perfectly and your immune system. So salt is a very necessary part. People fought wars for salt. So this low salt dogma, pay no attention. But it has to be unrefined salt, which contains 80 other trace minerals. And it bears repeating. Salt is good for you, guys. Unrefined salt. It helps with protein digestion, carbohydrate digestion, prevents worms, development of your child's brain, with good adrenal function, and strengthening your immune system. We've talked about the 11 principles of food, and I can go over it or I can get straight to the healing foods, which is raw milk, raw butter, raw cream, salad dressing that you make yourself. Do not eat. That's the one thing I would not eat that was store-bought. Please make your own salad dressing with the best fats you can find. Make your own hollandaise sauce. Melt some butter, add lemon juice to it, and whiz it in a blender. And you have hollandaise sauce that you can pour on all your winter foods. Ferment your own cabbage. Make your own beet kvass. Claudia is the expert on beet kvass and fermented cabbage and all these things. And maybe you want to tell people what you have fermented lately, Claudia? Tell us.
I made sauerkraut where I put some juniper berries in it a couple days ago to give as a little Thanksgiving gift to my friend who's taking me to her family for Thanksgiving. And I have plenty of kimchi and what else do I have right now? Pickles. I always have pickles because there's lots of cucumbers grow here year round. And you can pretty much do anything. I'm low on my beet kvass. I have a little bit left, so time to go get some good beets. Yeah, you can pretty much ferment just about anything. I did a little bit of fermenting the cranberries ahead of time for my cranberry thing too. Yeah, I just covered them with honey and let them sit in the honey for 2 weeks.
Wow.
I made little holes in each one so that some of the juices would come out.
My mouth is watering, Claudia. And folks, you will see that Claudia is a mentally very well-adjusted person. I don't know if you always were or not, but I can sense it in your talk and the way you are. You are just a happy, well-adjusted person. This is a person who eats tons of ferments, makes and eats a ton, and the ferments are making happy chemicals in her gut, all the serotonins, etc., neurotransmitters, B vitamins are made in your body through the food you eat, and your ferments make you very happy. So, folks, if you get cranky in winter, eat ferments. If you feel depressed from lack of sunshine, eat ferments. Fourthly, meat broth. And you can make it for 1 hour or you can make it for one day. Different things work for different people. Meat and bone broth, I'm just going to lump them in one category. You can make meat broths, bone broths, but make them yourself. Get a big old chicken. It's as simple as getting, teaching my next door neighbor who doesn't cook how to make a broth or a stock. And her husband just passed. She said, Sushma, I don't know how to make a soup or chicken soup. It's as simple as taking a 4-quart pot, throwing a gallon of water in it, throwing a chicken in it, the best quality chicken you can find, parts and all, including the legs and feet and the livers and the kidneys and the head. And voila, boil it for a few hours at very low heat, and you have something that's amazing. Will make
I'm
all
going
your
to add something real quick. I found a really big, like 5 pounds of chicken feet at Costco. And I trimmed off all the nails, and I know that all the collagen just flows right off where I trimmed off the nails. And I have the thickest collagen broth from the chicken feet in my refrigerator that I put in all my soups and stuff.
I tell you, Claudia, you are like an amazing, the person, those people who do concoct magical things in their cauldrons. That's what Claudia does. I didn't know Costco had chicken feet. There you go.
Maybe just here, who knows? Yeah. But
Okay.
they called them organic too, which was great because I couldn't find chicken feet otherwise organic here.
So, guys,
I
ask your Costco.
I followed that and went to Costco, and I found chicken feet, but it was not identified as organic. So that could be local, or it's just not stated
So, where did you find the chicken feet in the freezer section?
in the freezer section.
Yeah, it's frozen.
Wow, I had no idea. That's amazing. Amazing. So, anyhow, whatever broths you can find, afford, love, are not allergic to. There are some people who can't stand 2-day broths. So by all means, do a 2-hour broth. And there's a difference between broths and stocks, but you can read Sally Fallon's book, The Nourishing Broth, I think it's called. And it's got all sorts of distinctions. The key is to make it. Don't mess around. Don't wait around. Make it. And then the last item is liver. If you don't like cod liver oil, please eat liver fried with rice, in pate form, fried with onions, mushrooms, omelets, whatever floats your boat. These are healing foods. You got these foods and you will not need medicines. All the foods in pitcher form. They contain all the vitamins A, D, K, choline, zinc, cholesterol, so on and so forth. Delicious and yummy. If you're changing your diet, please change it slowly so that you don't have diarrhea, you don't have flus, don't go from regular to keto, keto to carnivore, carnivore to back. There are some consequences. So do it very slowly and do it in a planned and understanding fashion, meaning you should know what you're doing and why you're doing it. There's no one who can't afford it because the alternative is far, far more expensive. You don't have to eat organic if you can't afford organic. Just go to your local gardeners and farmers nearby and check to see they don't put too many pesticides. Don't eat the dirty dozen because they clearly are sprayed a lot. Quit store dressings, unrefined refined salts, and so on. And you'll just and compost your waste and stick potato plants in your yard in a bed. We have potatoes that come year after year. There's those long, beautiful potatoes. We have to take no action. So there's a lot of stuff you can do in pots and planters, buy from Farmers Direct, and so on. You can afford it. If you can afford to live, you can afford to eat foods that don't make you sick.
One of the things that I've learned recently is that even vegetables that are identified as organic are sometimes sprayed just before they're packed to be able to maintain, they say, the freshness or the visual quality of it.
So terrible. And you can smell this. You can smell it and you can see it on fruit that's half ripe on one side and totally raw on the other. It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
yeah.
Noted. The main thing is remember you can make a fresh decision every 3 hours. If you eat a chocolate bar or ice cream 3 hours from now, you can eat a stick of butter. You have ample time. Never beat yourself up. Never stress. Never be in being perfectionist. If it's going to cause you stress, don't. As Sunshine said, bless it and eat it. If you get the flu, it's a good thing. Many times people in large crowds, we don't know whether it's a miasm, we don't know whether it's a bug or a virus or a bacterium, they get the flu. And so in winter, people will not go places where there's congregations. No, don't take away the joy of congregating with friends and family and weddings and churches and synagogues and temples. Get the flu. And if you're well prepared, you may not even get the flu. And if you get it, welcome it and let it wash through your body. When you suppress a flu, you are basically taking an acute and turning it into a chronic degenerative disease. Anytime you take a flu shot, you have chronic disease. Anytime you suppress the fever, the flu turns into pneumonia. These are the people who land up in hospitals, people who take Tylenol. You should read the Sugimura study in the Children's Tokyo Hospital. All the kids that their mothers gave Tylenol to or paracetamol to were the ones that landed in hospital were the only children, were primarily children who got fever reducers. And so now we come to the point of this, which is the master tonic. You can eat fermented cod liver oil, master tonic, you can rest, you can let the fever run, and you can look at your navel and thank God that you have the ability to rest, because you must rest when you have sickness. So master tonic, this is the best flu shot you can have. None of this is mandatory, and you can add and subtract more spices from this. What we have here is horseradish. Can you see my cursor here? Or no? Anyone see my cursor?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. Okay. This says horseradish, onion, garlic, habanero peppers, regular peppers, ginger, turmeric, and all sorts of other spices. You can add onions to it as well. Oh yeah, I did put in it. And so what you do is you take equal parts of these, you layer them into a jar, and you add cider, apple cider from the top. So you're taking, this is how I do it. And Claudia will have better ideas. I take equal parts onion, ginger, garlic, turmeric, horseradish, hot pepper, chop it. You can chop it coarsely even. You don't have to chop it finely. And then pour in raw apple cider vinegar. You keep it for 6 to 8 weeks in a closet. You strain it. You use the liquid for master tonic, the solids as a delicious pickle by adding more cider to it. Or you just leave it exactly the way it is by putting in 1/3 of this mix and then 2/3 apple cider. And you just kind of take the dregs and add a dollop to your salads each time you eat a salad. It is absolutely delicious.
How long should one keep it? How long does it retain its potency?
It retains its potency virtually forever. I have tonic from like 8 years ago, I believe, because I forgot about that jar. It's absolutely delicious still.
Okay.
But generally speaking, you'll finish it in a year, 2 years, 3 years. It's depending on the room you have in your house. Just do it and make the time to do it.
After I've set it out, because it's so warm here, I refrigerate it. When I lived in California, I gave my granddaughter, who was living with me for 3 years, a shot of it every day before school, and she was never sick.
There you go. It's magical, miraculous, wonderful. I don't know what it has, but it has everything your body needs to not have disease.
Is it okay to add things like burdock or things that are not sort of harder things? Like, would it get weird if you added any sort of herbs?
Herbs definitely. Burdock, I don't know. It's a little bit starchy, but add rosemary, thyme by all means. The harder herbs, oregano. I have never added cilantro because it gets kind of mushy. Peppermint, I've never added. It gets kind of mushy. But the harder, more aromatic herbs, by all means, do it.
Great.
And if you add burdock, tell me about it and see how long it lasts and eat it before it's all done. I'm sure it'll be fine. I just haven't done it.
Okay. Thank you.
Anti-cancer, who knows, you know? Experiment and tell us all about it. Onion. What does onion do? It is fantastic. I eat raw onion with most of my meals, with curries, the red onions. It's so delicious. Where I grew up, where I was born is onion country. Clot buster, blood pressure modulator, heals your epithelial tissue, aids in digesting hard to digest foods, growth tumor suppressor, anti-inflammatory. Its key ingredients are sulfides and quercetin. It's fantastic. Ginger. It's good for nausea, indigestion, wind, colic. I mean, you don't need medicines if you have stuff like this, guys. Bloating, heartburn, flatulence, chills, colds, flus, poor circulation, coughs, sore throats. Oh, ginger and lemon when you have a tickle in your throat at night and have to just cough and cough and cough, it will take care of it. Arthritis, fevers, headaches. So your food matters. Food matters. It has volatile oils called gingerone, shogal's, gingerols, which is terpenes and phenols. It has nicotinic acid. It has oleoresins. These are all molecules, but these are the molecules we know about. There are millions of other molecules we know nothing about that form this miraculous tuber. Garlic. All sorts of qualities, anti-infective, it stimulates your glutathione production, great for tooth infection. If you have dental pain, bite on a little sliver of garlic. I'm telling you, it's way better than any painkiller. Colds, cold sores, cancers, tuberculosis, these are heavy-duty illnesses. Intestinal parasites, chelator, detoxifier. It has allicin, adenosine, which is a smooth muscle relaxant, and many sulfur compounds.
A brief,
Turmeric.
a
Yeah.
brief question about garlic. I've been using garlic powder occasionally instead of the raw garlic.
Mhm.
Any comments on that?
Garlic powder, processed, dried, freeze dried, probably lost most of its um, health properties. I would use fresh garlic.
Got it.
Garlic lasts for a long time in your pantry. You know, just buy it every couple of months.
Got it. Thanks.
And what I do is I keep a mortar and pestle in my kitchen. It behooves everyone to have one, and I just mash it and put it in stuff. You don't even have to cut it up. Covers and all, you mash it, the cover pops off very easily, and then you throw it into your food. I would avoid garlic powders, onion powders. They lose a lot of their goodness. Turmeric, one of the most potent anti-cancer ingredients in natural therapies. It has curcuminoids, all sorts of curcuminoids, volatile oils called turmerone, very anti-cancer, very hepatoprotective, um, gastric ulcers for oral disease, uveitis, you know, all sorts of good for your eyes, your gut, your hair, your skin. Use a spoon and a half of turmeric in your daily cooking. Throw it on your salad and cook with it. Cook with it. Foods taste delicious. It's not just about medicine. You want to cook with things that are delicious, and this makes it awesome.
Similar question that I asked about garlic and onion was turmeric powder versus the root.
Turmeric powder is good if you don't have the root. The best is the root, but if you cannot find it or it's not in season or you just can't afford $20 a pound for something, use the powder. Powder is still pretty good because they dry it and then they powder it.
Good,
It's
thanks.
not subjected to a lot of processes. And try and get organic from Rainbow Groceries. They have a 2-pound pack for like $60 or something. Will last you for years and years. Or buy fresh. I'll bet you get raw turmeric in Hawaii. Yeah, Claudia?
It's growing in my backyard, yes.
We just want to come and live there and
It,
eat
it
your
grows
turmeric.
really easily. It's an easy growing herb here.
Wow. Wow.
Do you know,
Horseradish.
do you know if it'll grow in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area?
Yeah, I know people who have grown it.
Okay.
Yeah. Try and grow it in your garden and see what happens. It just needs to be in a warm spot. Cover it up a little bit in winter with, plastic sheeting so it doesn't freeze. And it'll go down anyway. The tubers are underground, so it should be okay.
Okay.
Horseradish I know grows here really well. So plant horseradish by all means, 10 plants and harvest a plant once a year. Clogged
It
sinuses.
goes wild. Watch out. Horseradish is very invasive, so be careful. Yeah.
Wonderful. So wonderful. If I could
There's
have more.
there's
Yeah.
a farmer at the ferry building next to Bariani to the right, that
Mm-hmm.
Bariani olive oil, and sometimes they have young turmeric that is so fresh that it hasn't even formed the skin on it, and it's a whole other experience. So something to keep an eye out for if you're at the ferry building on Saturdays.
Got it. Got it. So any horseradish? Anyone had good experience with horseradishes?
I used to grow them at the community garden and they took over and I had a hard time. You just can't get rid of them. They're really, really, really prolific. Yeah. And I just love horseradish. From the time I was a kid on, I would slather all my meats with it and stuff. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So that's horseradish for you. Please add it to your food. And we talk a lot about these things, but these need to be like bathing and brushing your teeth for you. Master tonic, beet kvass, cabbage, cauliflower, whatever you can ferment, and just leave it on your counter. You don't have to be perfectionist. You don't have just the basic stuff. And be prepared to toss out things that don't work out. Ruthlessly toss things out that don't work out. As your fermentation prowess grows, you'll collect more good bugs in your house and you'll have fewer and fewer bombs. Anything that I make comes out really well now, but it didn't 8 years ago when we moved here, if you follow me. So your house literally develops good feng shui when you make good ferments in it.
Mm.
I
Are
wanted
you
to
saying, yeah.
Go ahead.
Are
So
you
I think
saying even horseradish should be fermented?
Yes, in a master tonic. In the master tonic. You can ferment horseradish beautifully in the master tonic.
Oh
Or you
yeah,
can
but
add it.
otherwise you can just eat it raw, right? Or
Oh, yes, you can eat it raw too with
sometimes
sushi.
it's not really strong at all. So it depends on where it grows or how you treat it.
Yes, 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 absolutely. I have a friend who brings me fermented horseradish every year, and she just grates it and adds salt to it. And oh my God, it's so good. So good.
so just salt and water, or
You ferment it just like you would a cabbage, sauerkraut.
okay,
You can
amazing.
do that with turmeric. Extra delicious. Take turmeric, grate it, cover it up with lemon juice. Oh my God, and some salt, and leave it on the counter for 4 days. I swear you will not be able to resist it. Your kids or your friends will finish it in like 2 days. Every time I've taken turmeric, fermented turmeric to a potluck, people just attack it. It's that good.
That sounds fantastic. Um, the I think it was last year or maybe the year before I shared making honey fermented garlic in honey,
Mhm.
and I kind of forgot about the one of the jars that I had, and I had some yesterday, and it had become so silky and just perfect to like integrate with salad dressings and stuff. So just a little tip that like time really, really did it a favor.
Beautiful, beautiful. There was another person that wanted to say something. Who was it? Claudia? I heard two voices.
No,
Nobody?
I think it was me and then Victoria, but I gotta speak first. So I
Okay,
think it's
got it.
me, Lotta.
Okay. Hot pepper. Hot pepper gets cooler when it's in the master tonic. But if you want super hot master tonic, put in a habanero or two. You will not regret it. I mean, you might regret it, but it'll be delicious. Shingles, pleurisy, Raynaud, circulation up to your fingertips, swollen lymph glands, arthritis, laryngitis, senility. You will have wonderful luck with hot pepper in your ferments. It has the alkaloids capsaicin, um, and its derivatives, and all sorts of water-soluble vitamins. Hot pepper is so rich in the water-soluble vitamins. Your master tonic is going to be a medley of vitamins, enzymes, minerals. Fantastic. Just drink it, eat it, dilute it. You can mix it with stuff. Just don't put hot things in it because it'll destroy the enzymes. And a shot a day will keep the doctor away. And now I'm going to walk us through the homeopathy. I'm going to walk us through homeopathy for flus, colds, coughs, and so on and so forth. I will first stop sharing this. Any questions so far?
With the turmeric, is it like the ginger where it's good to keep the skin on?
Yes. Skin has
Okay.
most of the protective ingredients in it.
And
Ginger,
you're
same thing.
are you grating it or are you just slicing it when you're putting it
I
into
just
your
slice it. I just slice it into rough slices, or fine slice, whatever floats you. But I would do like half a centimeter cuts,
Okay,
not too fine, because then it stays crunchy and you can throw it on salads. If you
nice.
make it too fine, then you just have your master tonic and mush. But if you leave it slightly bigger, you can throw it on your salads. Oh, so crunchy and so delicious.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share homeopathics now.
A question, why are you stopped sharing for homeopathics?
No, I'm sharing the homeopathics now.
Okay.
Yes, yes. A different slideshow, a different set of um, different issue. So food is number one for any flus. Our flu shot is the master tonic. Our flu shot is a high fat diet and butter and tallow and lard and hot soups and liver. That's our medicine. And then if that doesn't beat it or prevent it, you go to homeopathy, which is
So
gentler healing.
are you recording this part, the homeopathy part? Or have you
Yes,
just
yes.
stopped the other sharing? Yeah.
No, I'm not. I did not switch off the recording, and I am recording it because I know this. You need to watch it over and over again. And the other thing is just start, if you want homeopathic remedies, just look at this. So halfway through our presentation, go to the homeopathy on Rumble because all of this will be deleted from YouTube. Please watch it on Rumble and give them some thumbs up so that it actually shows up on searches. Okay.
Susan, before you start, I have to go in a little bit, but I have a question. I know in the past you've shared a website where you can put in like cut finger and then it'll tell you what to do. What is the name of that?
OOREP. OOREP.
Okay,
Bring it up.
OORPP.
No, REP, like repetition. OOREP.
All right, let me try one more time. I'm just kind of spelling it here. Okay, you spell it one more time.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the internet
Okay.
and
Yeah,
share with you the, where is it? Where is it? Where is the internet? Okay.
thank you,
And
thank you.
can you see this?
Not, I see everybody. So you've went back to
Oh,
the other, which is
okay.
good. Get to
Okay.
try.
Okay, so I'm gonna share
Thank you.
OOREP. This is OOREP.
That's it.
That's OOREP, and I'm gonna enter cut wildcard finger and see what happens. Oops. There you go.
Let me just take a picture
Here are
too.
the remedies, cutting pain, cutting, fingers cut off, feeling of delusion of fingers cut off, moschata, um, all sorts of remedies. You have
Thank
head pain. You never have to ask me, head pain, and you're gonna get 4,936 rubrics. That is your free repertory. It has the following repertory is Bonninghausen, it has herrings, Kant's repertory, publicum, which is a combination of remedies. It's beautiful and it's free. Use
Thank
it
you.
liberally.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome. That's what I wanted.
All right. So now we're going to go to homeopathy remedies. Oopsie. Um, and so here we are. Gentler healing. Homeopathy, as you know, works on the laws of. Anyone tell me? Laws of?
Similarity.
Similarity.
Yeah.
Like
Like
cures
cures
like.
like.
What's that?
I was just saying like cures like, right?
Exactly, exactly. So let like be cured by like is the motto of homeopathy. Mr. Hahnemann, Dr. Hahnemann discovered it 250 plus years ago, and here we are. This was an old presentation, so we talked about deaths in that time, and they have been dying ever since from the vaccine. But we're not concerned with that because we were smart enough not to take the damn vaccine and die of myocarditis. Arsenicum album is your remedy when you're restless, anxious, chilly, you have stomach anxiety, you have stomach symptoms, a little diarrhea, a little vomiting. You want a little bit of water and warmth. Warm drinks make you better. In your asthmatic, you have shortness of breath, um, a midnight exacerbation, 11 to 3 or 4 o'clock. You just get up and you're anxious, sour perspiration. Any exercise aggravates you. Swelling under eyes, frequent sneezing. Arsenicum has an initial watery discharge. And the second you get an initial watery discharge, by all means, use arsenicum album. You can use 6C, 12C, 30C. Another remedy for a watery discharge actually is NAT-mu or natrum muriaticum. Will help also if you have constipation and those kinds of symptoms. Arsenicum is more diarrhea, chilliness, anxiety, fever, fever alternating with chills. That's an arsenicum flu case. Nox vomica. You have a row with your spouse or your kids or at work, and you come home and you're just flattened. After anger, vexation, anxiety, after eating, while you're studying, you're so stressed out, Nox vomica is your remedy. You have difficulty reading, you're very impatient and sensitive to light. Music, noise, it just gives you dizziness and you cannot stand it. You're holding your head while you're coughing. When you hold your chest while you're coughing, it's bryonia. Remember these little hints. When you hold your head while coughing, it's nux vomica. Your cough is dry during fever. You feel hungover. And early morning aggravation, like 5-ish, or you can't sleep in the night, and then early morning you try to fall asleep and you're still sick. Bluish, reddish, yellowish circles around your eyes. You have cramping, you have constipation. You try to poop and it almost comes out and then it stops. Almost comes out, stops. You get constipation alternating with diarrhea. You have a morning cough. You wake up with pain in your back. And then you don't want anyone touching you. And sometimes one-sided perspiration on the right side of your body or the left. That's a nux vomica. Very sensitive. Very sensitive. Constipation or constipation with diarrhea. Stomach pain in the morning is a big one. Back pain. And you're leading a lifestyle that's very, very hectic and stressful, either party-like or very aggressive and adversarial. Nux vomica is a great remedy. At the first sign of flus, please take aconite and bryonia 200C. Just take a pill of aconite, a pill of bryonia, put it in some water, succuss it. At the first sign of a sniffle, fever, ache, take it. I'm going to talk about most of you are in the Bay Area where winter is wet and cold. And so, these two are good remedies. You can take aconite and belladonna as well. for a more what feels like a virusy as opposed to a mucus-laden disease where it's dry, you're inflamed, your head is inflamed. Um, those are the different symptoms. If you have a chest cold, if you're having troubles getting up, or you just want to lie down, that's more bryonia. So you can take aconite and belladonna or aconite and bryonia. And I tell you, for different people, different remedy sets work. It's not one size fits all, but once you've taken something, you'll kind of sort of know what you need. If you feel very feverish, where you can barely open your eyes, you're weaving around, gelsemium is your remedy. You can take aconite, gelsemium, eupatorium as a combination. You can take out aconite, belladonna, carbo-veg as a combination if you have fever and cough, dry cough, and you can't get, and you're feeling very weak. So what I'm gonna say is sometimes when you're sick, you don't know what to do, take a combination. Take something that feels right. It's better than the alternative, which is nothing.
If
And what's that?
if you have dry cough but not a flu, do you still recommend it?
Um, did I close a window? Which window did I close? Okay. Say that. Could you repeat that, please?
So if you have a dry cough but you don't have the flu, do you
Mhm.
still recommend the carbo veg for dry cough in general?
Take it. Take it. Absolutely take it. And I'm gonna add influenza. That's what I needed to do. That's a great nosode to add to this. There. And influenzainum in 200C. And if I do that again, it's going to boot me out. So you just remember influenzainum 200C. Eupatorium, you feel bruised, you feel as if your bones are broken. That's a great remedy for that. What are the symptoms of aconitum? You should always keep an aconite and an arnica in your purse. Fright, shock, accidents, bad news, cardiac arrest, sudden pain, sudden, someone screams at you, death of a loved one, fall. Everything that is shocking deserves an aconitum to prevent long-term effects. I keep it in my purse. I actually would rather keep aconite than arnica in my purse. But if I was prone to falling or I was in an occupation where that was likely, I would keep arnica in my purse if I had to have one remedy, aconite or arnica. Within 24 hours of an acute illness of shock, take it to prevent the ongoing effects of the shock. While allopathic medicine will tell you, hey, this had nothing to do with the shock you had 2 months ago, we know that shock can cause disease, it can cause long-term effects, it can cause cancers, it can cause psychoses, it can drive you nuts, it can send you to the insane asylum. Shock must be treated right away. Vomiting with fear, profuse sweat, increased peeing. You have thirst, huge thirst. Your face is flushed. Blood is rushing to your head. You fear anxiety, constant pressure in your left. Even if you feel that for no reason, take an aconitum. You fear death. You feel like you're dying. Aconite. And make yourself familiar with these remedies. They're fantastic. Bryonia. Bryonia is a remedy where you don't feel like moving. All your things are dry, your membranes are dry, you have dry coughs, you can barely get the mucus out. You want to rest, you don't want to move, you're better by rest. You're very irritable, you don't want anyone coming near you, touching you. The second you raise your head, you get dizzy, you have a bitter taste in your mouth. You've got pains in your joints and swellings in your joint. If you move them, it hurts. You have soreness in your throat, larynx and trachea. You're hoarse. You have a dry, hacking cough, and you have huge irritation. And at night, when you cough, you gotta sit up. Otherwise, you'll just keep coughing and feel like you're dying. And it's much worse after eating or drinking or with vomiting. A bryonia child does not want to be picked up. A pulsatilla child wants to be picked up, cuddled, like my granddaughter. A bryonia child does not want to be picked up. They want to lay down. Richard, when he's sick, he's so bryonia. You don't want to touch him. Sometimes he's so still that I put a mirror under his nose to see if he's alive or dead. That's a bryonia for you. Like the Sphinx, quiet as the Sphinx for a full 24 hours. Do nothing but sprinkle or spray them with a bryonia spray or pop some pills, open their lip, and you have a bryonia recovery. Gelsemium. Gelsemium is when you're stumbling around. The back of your head, there's a headache. And every time you urinate, you feel better. If everything gets better, you have no thirst. Bryonia and aconite, you have thirst. Arsenicum, you have small thirst, small sips. Gelsemium is thirstless. Pulsatilla is thirstless. You also have runny water noses, water running from your nose. Coldness in the extremities, tips of your fingers and feet are very, very cold and will go down into your throat and produce a sore throat. Redness, swelling, your tonsils are enlarged, you have a hot head, your eyelids are drooping. You land one time 2, 3 years ago when you had that whatever flu or whatever you had. Remember
Uh-huh.
that? You
Yes.
could barely talk, you could barely walk. You were a bryonia and you were a gelsemium.
Uh-huh.
And these are the people, if they don't get it, that flu can turn into hospitalization. You can die from it. So just keep these things handy. So I would say you should keep a gelsemium handy. The first sign of flu, take an aconitum and a bryonia, or aconitum and gelsemium and carboveg. For you, AGC is a very good combination. You've cough with running nose, sneezing, sore throat, your extremities feel heavy. Start it and you will not get as sick.
Great. Thank you.
Some people have stomach flus, which is Nux vomica and colocynthis. Why did I misspell the colocynthis? It should be C, not S. Every cold ends in asthma for some people, and that's a Dulcamara. The Dulcamara cold, if it's still lingering, you give them a sulfur. So you start the cold, and before you know it, you have bad asthma. It's a Dulcamara. Arsenicum album is a great remedy for asthma that starts from the very beginning as asthma. Nighttime, you get up suddenly, you're short of breath. Inhaling is very difficult. You go, and you can't breathe in properly. That's an arsenicum asthma. If you vomit violently, then veratrum and arsenicum are great remedies. Start with arsenicum. And if you're puking and pooping from both ends, a veratrum is your remedy. And if you're so gone that you can't even puke or poop and you're chilled to the bone, camphor is your remedy when you're dying, absolutely dying. In cholera, sometimes in the old diseases, when you had vomit and diarrhea, you were close to death. And that's when camphor is the corpse reviver. Any questions so far?
Is camphor a homeopathic, or I've heard of commercial camphor? Is the same thing or not?
Homeopathic, 200C, Camphora 200C. Keep that on hand.
Is there a way that, like, is there a website where you can type in, say you end up looking at quite a few things to take? Is there a website where you could type in that combo and it'll tell you if anything cancels it out?
Those are combos that will generally not cancel each other out. And but you can go to those remedies materia medica and it'll say antidoted by. And sometimes I've seen they are antidoted by the other, but the remedy combination works. So
Okay.
there's a lot about combinations and complementary remedies we still don't know. What the old homeopaths wrote down was based on their experience, and new experiences are still coming up.
Okay. Thank you.
So always base it on your experience. But that's a good idea. Go look at the Materia Medica for that. And Remedia has free Materia Medica. Or flip open a book. Like a Borike.
Is
Okay.
there any particular edition of Borike that you recommend? Because I know that, like, with law, like after a certain point, you don't really want the Black's Law dictionary.
Mm.
Like they so much of the information is corrupted. I don't know if that's happened in homeopathy or not.
So Borike has almost 2,000 of remedies, and now we have, but not the 8,000 that we have today. What I would say is buy the old Borike, stick to something simple, and get a nosode repertory or materia medica, because nosodes are increasingly important because we've got so much drug overlays. And the nosodes of those drugs are very useful to get rid of those conditions before your homeopathic remedies will act. So for people with asthma, they've been on steroids for like 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years. They have to have a clearing remedy of cortisol or prednisone before the homeopathic remedy will frequently work.
Is
And the
there,
homeopathic, yeah,
oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, is there a no-sode book that you recommend?
Berkeley Squires.
Berkeley.
Berkeley Squires, yes. Nosode books are very important. And for chronic disease in particular, nosodes are amazing. Don't be scared by claim stuff. People who say you should only use it once or only in high potency once every 6 months. You can take it every single day because it's, you know what it is? It's up when you feel better, it has worked for you. And so I know homeopaths who give it for 1 day in 6 months, or homeopaths who give it for 8 weeks in a row, twice a day, and it's all good. But nosodes are very important because cancer nosodes, diphtherinum. There's so much damage from the DPT vaccine that what works for most of the coughs I'm finding with little children that I prescribe to, pertussin works. That's a nosode of the um, pertussin illness. Pertussis. And that's because they have gotten so much DPT. That's the thing that really works to take away those 6-month coughs.
So would that also help someone with Parkinson's?
The nosodes, yes. In fact, the nosodes are fantastic. Bowel nosodes work great for Parkinson's, MS, neurological disease, because all disease begins in the gut. It's your
Oh,
gut that is the problem.
okay, thank you.
So people with rashes and allergies and skin conditions do well, very well with Morgan Pure, Morgan 30. People with more autism type symptoms, mental symptoms, or aggressive behaviors, ADHD, uh, stimming do very well with Proteus, or people with scleroderma, Raynaud's syndrome do very well with Proteus. These are, in many cases, children who've been vaccine damaged or damaged by drugs. Proteus. So nosodes are very important, wonderful. I don't think you can buy nosodes in this country unless you're a homeopath and have a certificate, but you can buy it anywhere else in the world. I would get them from Helios. Women, Candida, mold. There's a lot of mold. So polymold is a wonderful remedy for people who nothing seems to work for, or if you have hospital surgeries, P. aeruginosa nosode, because hospitals have hospital infections, will kill it. Will not kill it, but heal it. Coughs. There are certain types of very specific coughs. Coughs that happen, between 11 and 3 are arsenicum coughs generally. Between 3 and 5 are the Kali group of remedies. Kali carb, Kali arsenicosum, Kali bic, bichromicum. 4 to 5, there's a nosode called medarinum. That's also good for cystitis, by the way, and urinary tract infections and cold sores and so forth. And medarinum is great for early morning coughs if nothing else works. And you sleep on your belly. That's one of the keynotes. If you clear your throat a lot during the day, Argentum nitricum is a cough remedy that'll work well for you. If you have a tickling cough, which is dry, spasmodic, worse evenings, Ignatia is a one. It has worked very well for me. Every time I have, and this evening, it starts to get irritated. I'm tired by the end of the day, and I feel like I'm coming down with something. Ignatia. Ignatia, rest, and soup. If you have a hacking cough, then Drosera rotundifolia. This is the Venus flytrap, and it's great for tuberculosis, where yeah, it keeps on. Very tubercular cough that carries on for weeks and months. Drosera. If you have a chronic sore throat and if you're a hot kind of person with burning toes and extremities, sulfur is a good remedy. Medorrhinum is a very good remedy. And every time you feel a cough, a cold starts in your nose, goes down your cough, throat, goes into your chest. Happens to me all the time. Not lately though. I just take phosphorus right away to keep it from going into your chest. Phosphorus 30C, 200C, whatever you got. Questions?
I'm going to repeat a question I had earlier, but it's an increasing my understanding of maybe the relationship of food and homeopathics. What I heard you say earlier in the presentation was about food was more important than homeopathy, meaning if what you take in terms of your nourishment or liquids is more important than the homeopathics. But now I hear you talking about homeopathics, and some of them seem very, very specific. So I'm looking in my own mind without getting too much in the weeds about how to combine or use both of them.
You use food first. If you use food first, very few people get sick on this type of diet. If after that you're still subject to this sickness, then you take homeopathics. Homeopathy is to prevent allopathy, to keep you from taking suppressive medications, ointments on your skins, antibiotics, paracetamol, Tylenol, and steroids, which actually are going to drive disease deeper. You have to respect the fact that you're sick. So what homeopathy is saying, what we're saying is your disease is a sacred thing and treat it with a similar, like, so that you're trying to treat a like with a like.
Okay. So there's not necessarily, I guess I'm getting too particular here, but an order between food and checking my diet, making sure I'm doing everything so-called correctly. And then I have to include or address homeopathics to, I guess, fine tune it or something like that.
Yes, what I'm saying is food precedes homeopathy. I know too many homeopaths who are vegan and die at 50. I know too many homeopaths who give very bad nutritional advice, largely vegetarian, who eat, really bad, like salad dressings from the store.
Got it.
And despite homeopathy, they die because the maintaining cause in homeopathy, there's this concept of the maintaining cause. If your body's not undernourished, you're going to get illness no matter what.
Got
And
it.
you can treat it with homeopathy and you'll get better, but you'll get it again. So if you have to take homeopathy every 3 months for the same thing, then you're doing something wrong
Mm-hmm.
in your diet, lifestyle. So push it. You want to push your health towards good diet, fresh air, sleep before you push towards any of these other modalities for healing.
That was very helpful. Thank you. So I have one other question, which is something I may have mentioned before, but it's kind of comes from the outside and affects every single one of us, including our entire planet. And that's the spraying from it's including water, but it's mostly from the spraying from airplanes of the pollutants that are affecting every single element of our life and our planet. Is there a way to deal with or address that with the both food and homeopathy?
Yes. Lots of fats. Number one, lots of fats. You should make lots of enzymes in your body. So you need the proteins to make those enzymes with. So good quality, raw-ish, as raw as possible proteins, animal proteins, or raw milk. And the third thing is make a remedy. Keep a dish of water outside wherever you suspect nanoparticles are coming in. Take 1 milliliter of that, add 10 milliliters of or 100 milliliters of water to it if you want to make a centesimal potency. I would say add 10 parts water to it, shake it, throw out everything but 1 milliliter of that, and make a, 2x or 3x potency. And if you feel you're getting something from an external source like that, take that remedy 3, 4 times a day and see how you feel.
Got it.
I did that for bamboo allergies that Katie and Kai had. when they got to Goa. Oh man, they had such bad respiratory problems. So I put a dish of water outside. Everybody laughed at me, and I made a remedy from it. And then I was feeding it to them day after day. And they hardly have any allergies now. They barely get sick. Once in a while, they'll get sick, but not from the bamboo.
Great. A very brief question. I could look it up, I know, but maybe you could, if you could post it, the equivalent between milliliters and ounces.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can post it later, but you can look it up on the internet too. But
I'll
I
do
will
it.
I'll tell you right away since you ask 1 ml, 1 ml, one, no, no, 1 ounce, and you don't have to take, you don't have to do, um, milliliters, you can do ounces, 2 ml. 1 ounce is 29 milliliters. So 1 ounce is 29 milliliters.
Got
By
it.
all means, do 1 ounce. Do 1 ounce of that thing and do 10 ounces of water. So you're doing US calculations, which is 1 ounce is 29 milliliters. Just 10 times. Remember the ratio 10x.
Got it.
And it can be 1 ounce, 1 milliliter, it can be 1 cup, whatever you want. The tiniest, take a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of the outside thing, and 10 teaspoons of water.
And to do that the number of times to get a 3x or a 6x and the succussate and all that stuff?
Yeah. Succuss each time 20 times, and
Got
you're
it.
good to go.
Okay, thanks.
When you're succussing something, leave headspace of 1/3, and you will find amazing results. You're not bothered by things like nanoparticles, you sudden, crisscrossing across, and you'll be scared a lot less. EMF too, X-ray really helps. A lot of people have done well with radium bromatum, X-ray, and so forth for EMF. The key to remember is you're going to have these onslaughts. There's going to be people that are evil and put all these nasty things, but people still survive. They get over them, they adapt to them. The American Indians got blankets from white man from Europe in the 1700s when they migrated to Americas, and some of it was purposeful. They saw that when you gave these guys the blankets, they all died of measles because they were not adapted to it. And so actually disease killed more of the American Indians than war did, white man's disease. And so what I'm trying to say is you cannot avoid these malignant influences in life. The way to deal with them is to adapt. If someone had given them a measles nosode, taken some sputum of a kid with measles and run it around the American Indian population, they would have had 90% immunity.
Yeah.
That's what they did in Cuba with leptospirosis, and the immunity would not have waned as it does in vaccines.
So is it maybe social commentary, but is that the Indians did not have the awareness in their culture about homeopathy, about what you're just talking about, the things that counteract the so-called white man's disease?
Yes. They did not. They had wonderful herbs. They had wonderful sources of vitamin C and all the secret places they went to get well. But homeopathy is something that Paracelsus talked about it. It's come and gone. You glimpse it over the centuries, but really it was Hanuman who saw it and who gave light to it, and who experimented with hundreds of substances to make homeopathic medicine, which he found healed. And the more diluted it was, the more it healed, which is completely counterintuitive.
Yeah. That last part that you mentioned is something that I've had, I guess, difficulty in trying to convince other members, actually my son and my family, to explain how that works. And then the higher potency is actually more dilute, and he said that doesn't make any sense.
It
And
makes no sense.
I have no comeback for it, and it's kind of like I trust Sushima or something like that. I don't have any other reason for it.
Put it this way, people who eat like this and do homeopathy live a lot longer. And in the final analysis, mortality is your answer.
Got
And
it.
people who take jabs die a lot faster, or have a lot of chronic issues. So it, it makes intuitive sense. It makes intuitive sense. Um, what happens with dilution is not just dilution, but succussion. So we have not understood the magical powers of water until the last few decades of our life, where water is actually an electrical solution. It has ions, it has cations and
Yeah.
anion, and your body is not good. There's no such thing as cells. It is bunches of water that aggregate at different charges to create a cellular structure, to create membranes. And so with that understanding, we're understanding that water has amazing properties. And if you dilute something in water, a substance, things happen to that water that kind of, there's one way to think about it is it leaves an imprint on the water that's much wider than if the substance was a lot less diluted, more concentrated. So you're going from a physical substance to the imponderable, and it leaves a sort of an impression, and it has a bigger sphere of action. Like Nux vomica in small doses, Bonninghausen experimented with it. He did 6C and 12C, and they had very specific areas of effect. But when he took Nux vomica and pulsatilla and used 200C potencies, they were both effective in treating certain horse diseases. He was treating some horses. He gave one set of horses Nux vomica, and it worked to take it was a fever or diarrhea or something, and the other set pulsatilla, and that also worked. So the point is it worked, and the point is that it had a wider range of action. As to how or why, we're learning about quantum energy now, and physics is the right explanation for that, not chemistry. It's not explained by molecules, but by how fast an impulse travels from our eye to our brain. It's too fast for a chemical to go from here to there, or for you to feel something with your hands and a neurotransmitter to go from your foot to your brain to say, ouch, nail. It's much faster. It's an electrical impulse, call it a quantum impulse or an energy impulse. We don't have an understanding of it, but it's different than chemicals.
Yes. I thank you very, very much for that. And want to add one comment. I've been a follower and actually a personal physician for many years prior to that with Dr. Tom Cowan. And recently, with his so-called new biology in his clinic and all that, he's had people on who have talked about water in the exact same way that you are, saying that it's not a substance. It has to do with the chemical, not the chemical, but the biological charge that is produced by the elements of the water. So thank you.
Absolutely. Tom Cowan is a genius. Listen to whatever he says, but try homeopathy as well. Do homeopathy.
Thank you.
In fact, he does. At their clinic, I'm sure they do homeopathy. Alrighty. Any other questions on cough? Coughs are hard. Coughs are a bear. And so you're going to try nosodes, guys. Maybe I will do a nosode purchase and share it, but try getting nosodes from Helios and some others. PS11 might have nosodes you might acquire. And you need streptococcinum, you need influenzainum, staphylococcinum, you need candida. A lot of children have candida, women have candida, yeasts, because they take so many antibiotics, their bodies are filled with yeast. So the candida homeopathic protocol is fantastic. Mold, big deal.
So I have a further question, and it's kind of clarifying my own understanding of nosodes, which I thought I understood, coming from me, my body. And I'm hearing you say things you can buy or get nosodes from another source outside of me, my body. I don't understand that.
Those are nosodes from others, and then the ones you get from your body are called autonosodes, and the ones you get from the outsides are plain nosodes, and
Ah,
they are from mold, yeast, poisons, um, animal poisons like Naya is cobra venom, lachesis is the sukuruku snake, bushmaster snake. There's rattlesnake venom. That's Apis mellifica, which is bee venom.
yes.
These are fantastic things. Bee venom is wonderful for multiple sclerosis, for instance. And the nosodes are from gut bacteria, defective gut bacteria and good gut bacteria. There's Morgan, the different type of Bacillinium nosodes. And we have a problem with bacteria in our gut today. And the gut is really the seat of disease. The eczematous diseases, the psoriatic diseases are coming from the gut. and the nosodes. In fact, I'm gonna recommend Morgan for you. Um, Land.
Yes.
Morgan 30, Morgan 200. Start with Morgan 30, see once a week. And then we'll do the regular remedy. This one as a sort of a semi-constitutional and a miasmatic, and see how that works.
So
And no,
the product is Morgan, is that
yeah,
right?
Morgan Nosode.
Okay.
30C and 200C.
Good.
Morgan as in Morgan Fairchild.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all that.
Smoker's cough. None of you smoke, so this is not relevant, but Hepar Sulph is wonderful for smoker's cough.
So, pardon me, but question of that. My mother died of so-called lung cancer. She never smoked a day in her life. And yet she was diagnosed by the Western Medical Association and all that as having lung infection, which comes from smoking. Could it be her environment that created it?
Oh, of course, back then, secondary smoke was how people got sick. You know, if you have parents that are smoking, you get more smoke than the smoker because that smoke you're inhaling is just horrible. Children of smokers have suffered. Did her parents smoke?
No,
Was she in a smoking environment?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Did she live in an area which had igneous rock underneath, East Coast someplace?
No, it's in Chicago near the lake.
Near the lake. Yeah, a lot of the underground formations are igneous, and they give off radon. And radon is an odorless, colorless gas that's like smoking 200 packs of cigarettes a day. And you have to test for it. So nowadays, our house in Acton, Massachusetts had radon underneath it. And
Ah,
so before we sold it, we had to put in radon detectors and radon removers from the basement because it was getting into our house.
oh,
Massive amounts. Yeah. Uh, that has happened a lot.
oh, interesting. That's
Could be something else too. I'm just guessing, but
yeah, I understand. Yeah, you're so-called guessing.
It
yeah.
can also,
Or she was in secondary smoke.
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I
lung,
Victoria.
can, we all, I mean, we were from the generation, I'm 75, where all the parents, the doctors, everybody smoked. So I know that I had very significant smoke exposure as a child. And I knew it later when I was a swimmer that I did not, even though I, swim all the time and stuff, I know I have a little bit of a compromise from being around all of the smoke. I can testify to that.
Yeah. Lungs are damaged. Yep.
Okay. Good, good.
All
also
right.
had tremendous grief. From a Chinese medicine perspective, lungs are associated with grief.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Oh yeah. That where it hits you. Yeah.
Do you have a general recommendation for having difficulty concentrating and remembering? Because I take copious notes and then I can't even find them. I'm so like I've just not been feeling well for quite a while lately, and I just I'd love to be able to keep track of things better so that I, remember stuff and move forward more.
Do you want a homeopathic remedy or do you want a tip or a trick or what?
Well, homeopathy or other recommendations, sure. I would, yeah,
A homeopathic remedy is anacardium.
anacardium.
Anacardium orientale. Take a, 6C or 12C once or twice a day and see how you feel. See how you feel.
Orientale?
Orientalis.
Orientalis 6C or 12C. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Take
you.
it twice a day. Yeah, no. And then the key here is address constitutional, miasm, and then the acute. So acute, constitutional, miasm. Miasm is typically what did your parents die of? Do you have cancer in your family? It's very interesting. My two daughters had different problems growing up. One had more skin issues, and one had more sort of not seizure, yeah, more nervous issues. Seizure, like where she would gnash her teeth at night, grit her teeth at night. And their children who are not at all vaccinated. So that was vaccine damage for them. But their children who are not at all vaccinated have similar issues at a much lower level. So things do travel from generation to generation, guys. So when you're eating for 3 generations forward, which is why teaching this to young women is so, so important because you're not doing it for yourself, just yourself. That was just aside.
No, that's important and so beautiful because um it's it's that whole process and spiritual path that is, you know, so key to really making change, and the discipline is so important.
Alrighty, croupy, harsh barking cough. This is a Bonninghausen protocol aconite spongia Hapar. I've added Drosera too. If you want Drosera, you can use. But aconite spongia for that kind of cough, the croupy cough where you think that person is about to die. I thought my grandson was dying, but what dose of 1 m aconite 1 m fixed him in 12 hours. And I was tossing him like a pancake every time he did that. And then his croup would stop. Then he would have that thing again. And it just terrified me. And we took him to the doctor. And I said, oh God, he's got whooping cough. And it turned out that he got well in 12 hours with the dose of every 3 hours we were giving him aconite, his first remedy. Spongia is when the cough turns dry, croupy, harsh, and Hapar is the later stage when the mucus starts to form. So based on the indications, you give him aconite, spongia, aconite, spongia, Hapar, in whatever order. And I've seen people give it all at once, and it works. Drosera is a much more tubercular cough, dry, spasmodic, ringing sound. After midnight, it may be accompanied by retching or vomiting. The person's holding their abdomen while coughing. It's worse lying down. As soon as the head hits the pillow, the child or you start coughing. And it's mostly dry with some mucus or yellowish sputum. That's a cough. Then we come to dosing. You can dose with a 30C, 200. That's what you seem to get in stores here, but you can do it with a 6C or 12C and take it more frequently. You place a pellet under your tongue, or you put a pellet in water, you stir it vigorously, and you take teaspoon doses as needed. I tend to put it in bottles and take sips because I can't be bothered with spoons. And you want to stop dosing when relief begins and only redose if the symptoms get worse. And you want to give the indicated remedy a chance and not change remedies too often because, it's not a good idea to change remedies too often. And be calm. Don't run around in a panic saying, oh, I'll take gelsemium and then I'm going to take bryonia, then I'm going to take. No. Take a remedy, quietly relax, eat some good food, and put your hand on your chest, your left chest, and tune in to see how you're feeling. And only redose if you get worse. You can also, if it stops working at 30C, you can then take the bigger potency. And that's how to dose. Asthma, we have a lot of remedies, but I'm going to focus on arsenicum because arsenicum and Blata orientalis has very good asthma remedies. They have suffocative cough, wheezing, worse at midnight, asthma, arsenicum does. And you have asthma alternating with eczema in arsenicum. And Blata orientalis is asthma triggered by dust exposure to things in the outside air, dust, mold, this and that. And that's cockroach. It's a great remedy. Blata orientalis is ground up cockroach. So what about dosage and duration? You take the minimum dose, you take it until you feel better. This is not an antibiotic, so you're not taking a 10-day, except in coughs that go on and on. There we have had success with continuous taking. It's not a supplement. The key is to observe. Read and observe, read and observe. And when you observe and apply it to yourself and your family or your dogs or your plants, you will get better. What's the rule? If it doesn't work, 4-dose rule for you take 4 doses, one every 15 minutes, and see how it works. That's the equivalent of 1 dose, just split dose. So take 40 sips every 10, 15 minutes and see how you feel. You should feel slightly better, and then stick with that. If it doesn't work, completely doesn't work, camphor will antidote that remedy before you begin the next remedy. Other antidotes are coffee, mint tea, some volatile, you can sniff oils and so on. Then you go to the next remedy. And you will know, all of you are in a place where you will know when it's working, when you feel better, when the intensity wanes, when you need a repeat. And this is about not panic. It's a change of attitude. When you do homeopathy, mothers calm down. Mothers are observing their children or their dogs or their plants and not in panic mode. And that's almost the most homeopathic value of these medicines, which is instead of panicking and thinking you're dying or your child is dying, you get into observation mode. And when you do that, you de-stress and you already start to feel better.
And remember to breathe.
Yes, breathing totally helps with not panicking. And it's very important to guys to jot down, take notes, remember the combo that worked for you so that the next time it happens, just take that combo and be done already. Because for you, that might be the right way to go. Especially when you're in pain and cannot think too much. Take what worked before. And the most important thing is no sweat, no stress, but don't give up. Always remember, something is better than nothing, and you have much time to make the next decision. Whether you're suffering from cancer or cataracts or glaucoma or, heart disease, you can always, your body is always in a condition of wanting to heal. And anything you do to support that is a good thing and going in the right direction. And with that, if there's no more questions, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you very much. And I will post this on Rumble.